her science. You know, on the computer, the coding and all of that, it's a lot of zeros and ones and, you know, it's a lot of code. But with a system like Stallion and with high performance computing resources that we have, that code gets integrated and rendered into a visualization.
So if that's the virus, is that like, how big would it be in real life? That chunk right there, is it
Yeah,
like
that's a really good question.
on a pinhead or?
Even smaller than that.
Smaller.
Damn.
So probably not even visible to the naked eye.
Not at all.
So not at all visible to the naked eye. So that's another key reason why, you know, these things need to be visualized. So anyway, it's kind of beautiful when you look at it that way. And then over here, I don't know a lot about these images, except that they are images of cells. So they are another biology-based application.
That's a laser, cellular laser.
Okay. So that's the laser, and then is this the cell?
I believe it's what happens after.
Okay. So the laser and then the cell, I guess, after you hit it with the laser. So anyway, you can see how this would be very helpful to scientists and researchers. And you know, using these technologies, you know, they understand the science and they go to school to learn the science, but in their practical lives, doing their jobs, they have to know how to use these tools. These are really tools. They're very, you know, they're cool and they're awesome, but they're tools for scientists and researchers to enable breakthrough discoveries.
So is this how Xbox and Wii make you a good scientist?
You know, you could say that because these are all gaming systems down here, Dell gaming systems.
It looks like the oil spill. Was that the oil?
So you can actually play games on this?
No, it's an engineering simulation.
Yeah, I believe this one is the Earth Mantle Convection, if I'm not mistaken. So another scientist here at UT, Omar Gattas, is a leading expert in Earth Mantle convection. And this is some of his viz here. So kind of studying the core of the Earth and the systems that happen there. So do you guys have any questions about what you're seeing or why it's important to science?
What's all that right there? Like, that's
It's like the
brain,
human
right?
brain.
It's the brain, right?
This is the brain.
What's wrong with it? Like something wrong with it.
It's actually the brain in response to visual stimuli. This is the brain in response to visual stimuli. So you can see where it's red. That's where your brain is actually thinking once you're you know, looking at something that's stimulating your brain.
A lot of it's not thinking.
Wow, that's really interesting that it's in different little spots. I would have
Locations.
thought of it like to be in one
Look at
little
these, don't have
area.
many
Yeah.
cells.
We can see like in the back, that area primarily,
Oh, I can.
primarily processes it.
Is that the back of the brain back there?
I think that's the back.
And what the blue
I'm not
represents?
really sure actually.
Is that Hurricane Ike over there?
Yes, this was done in 2008 when we had Hurricane Ike. And so they're actually using the same geographic data to model the oil spill right now. So a lot of people who are working here are helping them.
That's exactly right. This research that was done in 2008, like Anu just said, these same models are actually being used to help with the BP oil spill research. So one of the ways they're using it is they are running models of Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Gustav, and Hurricane Ike, and they're trying to do some pre-research to understand what would happen if a hurricane hits the Gulf this summer.
Oh, while the oil's in it?
Yeah, I
'Cause it's
mean,
really likely
you know,
to
there's
happen.
hundreds of millions of gallons in oil, as y'all have seen that video, I'm sure on TV, of all the oil just spilling out into the ocean. And a lot of it is, you know, impacting the Louisiana coast and the Texas coast. And so if a hurricane hits, what does that mean? And I have actually talked to two of the scientists, and guess what? A hurricane might not be all bad. If there's different ways
Will it
you
wash
look
it
at
off?
it, because we don't know what's going to happen. Go ahead. Yeah. So I mean, it depends on the hurricane itself. You know, the characteristics of that particular hurricane. But in certain ways, a hurricane, if it hit the right way, could go in and emulsify a lot of that oil, break it down, help clean it out, help, you know, emulsify it, and that might be a good thing.
So
On
it's
the other hand, depending on the characteristics of the hurricane, it could blow in and just drudge up a lot of oil inland and also in places where we weren't expecting it to go. And then you've got all that oil and salt water on the land, which salt is another contaminant, and that could make the cleanup process and also the environmental, impact a lot worse. But the scientists that I talked to said, we don't know. A hurricane could help, or it might not. But it's not necessarily all bad. But those are the kinds of things that we're trying to anticipate so that we can prepare and be prepared to respond.
be more
So-
prepared than British Petroleum.
That
would be good.
I don't think British Petroleum had much of a safety or risk management plan in place, and that is unfortunate for all of us. So, but at any rate, yeah, that was Hurricane Ike, so very good. So what kind of questions are popping in your minds that we can maybe answer for you?
How much all this cost?
How much does all this cost?
Good question.
Can you get this in your room? Can I get this at home? Actually, I'll answer your question first. Yes, you could get this in your room, and you want to know why? Because these are all commodity parts that you can buy off the shelf at Best Buy.
You bought all this?
None of
Did
these.
you buy this at Best Buy?
I don't know if we bought it at Best Buy, but one of those types of stores, Fry's, Best Buy. These are all commodity parts that are, and our team actually had the expertise to put this system together. See, Dell had the products, but they didn't have the internal expertise to know how to put a system like this together. So they came to us and asked us if we would help them do it, and in return, they donated the hardware.
Yeah, so like if you look at these computers down here, those are 23 computers all working as one. And then the main computer that kind of directs all of that is up here.
And there's a complex cabling system that you have to think about so that all the cables, are integrated together. So there's a lot of thought in how you deploy the technology and how you make it work, So, but anyway, so we have very smart people on staff who were able to put this together, and then the hardware was donated. So the cost to us is quite minimal. Do you know how much a system like this would cost just retail if you were to buy it?
I think
Just a guesstimate?
I think the monitors, like each monitor, because the resolution is so high, I think each monitor was around like 2,000, and then each of the computers I heard was around like 6,000. So if you multiply that out,
There's 75 monitors, so I'm gonna say it would probably be maybe $250,000, something like that. That's a good guestimate. What else? What other questions? Do you guys have any questions over here?
I thought it would be like something else. Did you
No.
find Earth?
Okay. Let's. Do you want to show another data set?
oh yeah,
We have
well
a
actually
question
we
over
can talk
here.
about this. This is the Milky Way.
Get it. Hold on.
This was taken by the Hubble telescope, and if you see it, I don't know if you saw it while it was zoomed out, but it's a huge